Hi friends, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. I'm Ashten, the face behind Ashten Stitches, and today I have a really interesting tutorial for you guys. This is the Forest Fae top. This is a pattern that I designed a year ago, and I finally am putting out a video tutorial for it. I'm sorry that it took so long, but it's just not been very high on my list, and so I kind of forgot about it. But I've got it for you today, and I'm really excited for you guys to see how this goes and to make your very own Forest Fae top. This top has some interesting little things that you have to do to make it all come together. So I definitely will say that for confident beginners and above, you are more than welcome to try this. This is a pretty fun one to do if this is your first garment that you're making, but I definitely say give it a go. It is pretty fun. And if you are having any trouble with the pattern along the way and you just need to see it written down, I do have a written pattern for this, which I will be leaving down below. Go ahead and check that out if you need it. But with that, let's go ahead and get started. For the materials, you will need some 100% cotton yarn or a lightweight yarn. This is a super fine, so I weight 1 yarn, and I will be using a few colors of this. I will also be using this yarn for the ruffles on the edge. It's just a really nice flowy yarn, so you can also grab that. A 5mm crochet hook, a tapestry needle, some stitch markers, and a pair of scissors. Optionally, you can also have a measuring tape. But let's go ahead and get started. So first we are going to make our granny squares, and to start we're going to make a magic ring. So go ahead, wrap your yarn around your fingers, make an X facing you, parallel lines on top, take your hook, go under the first loop, grab the second loop, pull up a loop, and then grab all of those and release. And then we are going to chain 2. And this counts as your first stitch. Place 2 double crochet into your magic ring. And a double crochet is yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over, pull through 2. And now you should have your chain 2 and then 2 double crochet for a total of 3. Then we will chain 1. Now we will place 3 double crochet into the magic ring, and then chain 1, and then we will repeat that 2 more times. So place 3 double crochet into the magic ring, chain 1, and then once more 3 double crochet, and then chain 1. So now you should have a total of 4 3 double crochet clusters. Once you've gone around, go ahead and slip stitch to the second chain of your chain 2 from the beginning. And if you are changing colors, go ahead and cut your yarn. Go ahead and also tighten your magic ring and then weave in your ends. So now I'm going to change colors for round 2. I'm going to look for one of my chain 1 spaces. I will insert my hook, then I will attach my yarn, and then I will chain 2. Into this same corner space, I'm going to place 2 double crochet. So now I have my chain 2, which counts as my first double crochet, and then 2 more double crochet, then chain 1, and into the same chain 1 space that we are working in, we're going to place 3 double crochet. So now your corner should have your chain 2, which counts as your first stitch, and then 2 double crochet, a chain 1, and then 3 double crochet. We are then going to jump into the next corner space, which is where our chain 1 is on the other corner, and we're going to place 3 double crochet, then chain 1, and then 3 more double crochet into that same space. So then we're going to jump into the next corner, and we're going to do the same thing. Go ahead and place 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, all into that next space. And then jump into your final chain 1 space and place 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet. Once you've gone around back to the beginning, go ahead and slip stitch to the top of your chain 2 from the very beginning. And then cut your yarn and weave in your ends. For round 3, we're going to find one of our chain 1 spaces and then insert our hook and attach our yarn again, and then chain 2. and that counts as our first stitch. Now we will place 2 double crochet into that same space, then chain 1, and place 3 double crochet into the same space. So now we should have our chain 2, which counts as our first stitch, 2 double crochet for a total of 3, chain 1, and then 3 double crochet. Now we will jump into this middle space here in our granny square, and we will place 3 double crochet. Then into our next corner space where there's a chain 1, we will place 3 double crochet, chain 1, and 3 double crochet, all into that same space. So now we will repeat all the way around, where we will place 3 double crochet into the spaces in between the corners, and then into the corners we will place 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, all the way back to the beginning, and I will meet you back there. Once you've gone all the way around, go ahead and slip stitch to the top of your chain 2 from the beginning, and then cut your yarn and weave in your ends. For round 4, we're going to find one of our corner spaces and insert your hook and attach your yarn, and then chain 2. Then we will place 2 double crochet into that same space, then chain 1, and place 3 double crochet into the same space. Then into the next space, go ahead and place 3 double crochet. Into the next space, place 3 double crochet. And then into the next corner space, place 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, all into that same space. Now go ahead and continue placing 3 double crochet into the spaces in between the corners, and then into the corners place 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, all the way around until you reach the beginning, and I will meet you back there. Once you've gone all the way around, go ahead and slip stitch to the top of your chain 2 from the beginning, and then cut your yarn and weave in your ends. So now you're going to just repeat that same pattern where you insert your hook into the corner space and attach your new yarn, place 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet into the corner. Then in between the corners you will place 3 double crochets, and just do that all the way around until you get your desired size. In order to figure out what size you will want, you will need to take the measurement of your chest circumference. So that would be at the fullest part of your bust to be able to find the sizes of your squares all together. Once you get that circumference, go ahead and divide that by 4 so you can get the size for each granny square when you measure it diagonally. So for example, for sizing, for my bust, it is around 30 inches, a little bit more than 30, but about 30 inches all the way around at the fullest part of my bust. And when you divide that by 4, you get around 7 inches and a quarter. When I have my full granny square all done, I want to make sure that it is at about 7 inches and a quarter. And there is my full granny square. So that's how you determine what size you will need. You can also just hold up your granny square to you, and if it covers as much as you would like on your bust, that is the size that you can go with. I am typically a size medium. For my granny square, it is 7¼ inches across, and it is 7 rounds of the granny square stitch. So go ahead and make the size that you need, and then I will meet you back to do the border. Once you get to the size that you need, we're going to add a border of half double crochets all the way around. So in one of the corners, go ahead and attach your yarn, and then chain 3. This counts as 1 half double crochet and a chain 1. Then go ahead into the same stitch, place a half double crochet. And a half double crochet is yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over, and pull through all 3 loops. And now we are going to place 1 half double crochet in each stitch along the top. We're not going into the spaces anymore. We are going into the actual stitches. So go ahead and place 1 half double crochet into each stitch all the way to the corner, and I will meet you back there. Once you've gone all the way across and you've made it to your first corner, go ahead and place a half double crochet into the corner, chain 1, and place another half double crochet into the same corner. And then you will repeat that, where in between the corners you will place 1 half double crochet in each stitch, and then into the corners you will place a half double crochet, chain 1, half double crochet, all the way around until you go back to the beginning, and I will meet you back there. Once you've gone all the way back around, go ahead and slip stitch to the 3rd chain of your chain 3 from the beginning, and then fasten off and weave in your ends. Once you've done that, you now have a finished square. And you will go ahead and make a total of 4 of these squares. Next, we need to make our triangles or our half granny squares. So to start, go ahead and make a magic ring and then chain 3, and this will count as your first double crochet. Now go ahead and double crochet 3 into the magic ring. So now you should have your chain 3 and then 3 double crochet in the magic ring. Go ahead and chain 1 and then place 4 double crochet into the magic ring. On your 4th double crochet at the very end, don't pull your yarn all the way through. Make sure you leave the second half of your final double crochet so that we can switch colors. So now we're going to switch colors, and I'm going to do this by finishing my final stitch with the new color, and then I will pull my first color to tighten it a little bit and then fasten off on your first color. Now chain 3 and then turn your work. At this point you can go ahead and tighten up your magic ring as well, but not quite all the way. So now we are going to place 3 double crochet into the space in between our chain from the last row here and the next stitch. So you can see that where I'm coming out of is the last stitch. There's the actual stitch on top, and then there's the little space underneath, and we're going to go into that space and place 3 double crochet. I'm also going to be crocheting over my loose pieces here, but you do not have to do that. So again, place 3 double crochet into that space. So now you should have your initial chain here, and then 3 double crochet into the space in between the chain from the previous round and the first stitch. Now we are going to jump over into this middle space here, and we're going to place 3 double crochet, and then we will chain 1, and into the same space we will place 3 more double crochet. And now we are going to work on the other side. So now we're going to find where our final stitch is. So you can see this is the final stitch, which is a chain from the previous round, and then here is my 3 double crochet cluster, and then that's the space in between. We're going to place 3 double crochet into that space. And now we are going to find either the second or the third chain of this last stitch, and we will place our final double crochet into that chain. So I'm going to go into this one here, and then I will be changing colors again, so I'm not going to finish my double crochet, and I will go ahead and change colors. Then I will finish my stitch, pull my old color tight, and fasten off on that old color. Now we will chain 3, then we will turn our work, and we are going to do the same thing. So into that space, right where our first stitches, which is our chains from the last round, and the first stitch of the 3 double crochet cluster, we're going to go in between that and place 3 double crochets. And again, I'm going to be crocheting over my loose ends, but you do not have to do that. So place 3 double crochets in between those 2 stitches. Then we're going to jump into the next space right here in the middle and place 3 double crochet. Then we will jump to the very top and we will place 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, all into that top space. Then on the other side, we are going to find the next space and place 3 double crochet, and then we will find our final stitch here, and then the first stitch of our last cluster here, find the space in between, and we're going to place 3 double crochet into that space. And then again, we're going to find either the second or the third chain of this final stitch here and place a double crochet into it. And since we'll be changing colors here, I will not finish my double crochet. So now I will change colors and finish this last stitch. I will pull the old color tight, and then I will cut the yarn of my old color. Now I will chain 3 and then turn my work. And then we're just going to be repeating that where we place 3 double crochet into that very first space that is between your chains here and the first stitch of this cluster. We'll place 3 double crochet, and again I'm going to go over my loose ends, but you don't have to. So place 3 double crochet into that space. We will place 3 double crochets into the spaces in between the 2 corners. Into the next corner, or at the very top, we will place 3 double crochet, chain 1, 3 double crochet, all into that same stitch. Then in the spaces in between the corners, we will place 3 double crochets, and then we will find that very last stitch and the last stitch of our cluster from the previous row, find the space in between, and place 3 double crochet into that space. Then into either the second or the third chain of the final stitch, we will place a double crochet, but we will not finish the double crochet so that we can switch colors. And you're going to repeat all of that until you reach the size that is half of your granny square. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you back to do the border. So I've gone ahead and made the size of half of my granny square, and I'm ready to switch to my border color. So I, again, have not finished this last double crochet, and I will change my color right here. And now we are ready to start our border. So now that we have our border color attached, we're going to chain 2 and then turn our work. So now, just like our granny square, we are going to place a half double crochet into each stitch all the way to the corner, and I will meet you back at the corner. Now that I'm at the corner space, I'm going to place 1 half double crochet, chain 1, and then 1 half double crochet all into that same space. And then I will continue placing half double crochets into each stitch all the way to the end, and I will meet you back here. Make sure you don't forget that very last stitch that is just a few chains. You can do it into the second or the third chain. Place that last stitch, and now go ahead and chain 1 and turn to work along the raw edge at the top here. So now we are going to be placing half double crochets along the top here. The goal is really to place 2 half double crochets per row. So for here, I would place 2 and then 2, 2, 2, all the way to the middle. Then in the very middle, we will place 1 half double crochet, and then we will continue with placing 2 all the way until the end. So like I said, we're going to be placing 2 double crochets per row. So for this very first one, I like to secure it just a little bit more. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to place my first half double crochet into this actual stitch here, and then I will place a second half double crochet into the full space right here. That's 2 half double crochet. I'll hop into this next row here. So this is my next color, and I will place 2 half double crochets into this space. And then again into the next row, which is the next color here, I'll place 2 half double crochet. And we'll just keep doing that until we get to the middle. So now I'm at the middle here. This is where our magic ring was at. So you can see right there, I've left it a little loose so that way I can work into it. We're going to place 1 half double crochet into that. So I'm going to grab that little loop here. And so that way I can tighten it up. I'm going to take the loop that can tighten the ring and just lay that over my crochet hook. And then I'll go ahead and finish my half double crochet. And then at this point, you can take that loose bit and tighten your magic ring. And then I will continue with placing 2 half double crochets into each row until the end. So I've just finished up along this edge here, and now we're just going to slip stitch to the top of our first stitch from the beginning. So go ahead and slip stitch, and then go ahead and cut your yarn. And if you are like me and you didn't weave in your ends along the way, go ahead and weave in your ends. Once you've woven in all of your ends, you have your granny triangle, and go ahead and make a total of 3 of these, and then we will go ahead and go from there. So now you should have 4 granny squares and 3 granny triangles all done, and now we're going to attach everything together. So we're first going to start with our 3 triangles and 2 squares, and we'll take our 2 squares and we'll turn them so that they are in the diamond shape and place them with one corner touching in the middle. I'm going to use a stitch marker to hold it together for now. Then we will take 1 triangle, place it in the middle, take a triangle, place it on the left, and then take a triangle and place it on the right. So I know it's a little bit hard to see, but you'll have your 3 triangles on the bottom, and these will all be touching, and you'll have your 2 squares on top. So now you will have your 3 granny triangles on the bottom and your 2 squares on top. All of these are going to be attached. At this point, you can go ahead and attach some stitch markers so that everything is held together. So now we're going to use our last 2 squares. We're going to just move this over so that we can see the left side. Now we've got something that looks like this, and we're going to go ahead and place our last 2 squares. So I'm going to move this over so that we see the left side. We'll take one of our squares and turn it to be a diamond, and we're just going to place that on this far edge here on the left. And again, I'm going to place some stitch markers to hold it all together. So now I'm just going to move this over so that we are looking at the right side, and we're just going to do the same thing. So we're going to take our final square, make it a diamond, and place it on the far right, and then attach it with stitch markers. So now we have everything attached with our stitch markers, all the way across. And now we're just going to be attaching all of our squares and our triangles together. So you can do this with single crochets or slip stitches or a whip stitch, whatever sort of joining method that you like. I have a couple of videos that show a couple of methods that you can use for joining. So you can go and find those. I'm just going to do either a mattress stitch or like just a simple whip stitch. But what you're going to do is you're going to start on your right side at the bottom. You're going to attach going up, then going down, up to the middle, and then keep going down, up, and then down on the left side. So you're just going to follow that little zigzag pattern all the way until you get to the other side, and I will meet you back once this is all attached. I wanted to mention really quick before I put all of my pieces together that you're going to want to make sure that you have decided which side is your right side, so the good side, and which side is the bad side or the wrong side. So for example, I have all of my pieces laid out to have the good side facing up or facing outwards. So this is the side that everyone is going to see. So this is the good side. And when I put my pieces together, I'm going to want the good sides touching each other so that the bad sides are facing outwards. So I will be attaching my pieces with the seam like this. So just make sure that you are putting your pieces together the way that you are wanting them to face. And then you can go ahead and put all your pieces together, and I will meet you back after that. So now you should have your pieces all connected together. And at this point, we can go ahead and fold the left and the right sides over so that you can see your basic shape for the top. So this will be the front where there will be some ties. The ruffles are going to go along here in the back. And then we're going to have the straps up here. So we're actually going to now make some straps for our top. So now we're going to go ahead and make our strap. So make sure that you have your piece folded with the left and right, folded over with the right side facing out. And we're going to be attaching our yarn to the top of our front granny square. So you can see here, we will be attaching it to the top here and then attaching again on the back one. So taking our front square, we're going to find that middle stitch. So you can see there is our chain one middle stitch. And then we're going to go 2 stitches to the right of our middle stitch. So here's our middle stitch. Then we have 1, 2, and we're going to attach our yarn in that stitch. Once you have attached your yarn, go ahead and chain 2, and this will count as your first single crochet and a chain 1. So now we will place 1 single crochet into that same stitch, and then we will place a single crochet into the next stitch as well. So now we will be at your chain 1 space in the middle, and you will go ahead and place 1 single crochet into that space. And then we're going to replicate what we did on the first side on this side now. So we are going to place 1 single crochet into the next stitch, and then 1 single crochet into the next stitch. And now you should be ready to start your strap. So now we're going to chain 2 and then turn our work. And now we are going to be doing what's called the moss stitch. The moss stitch is just single crochets and chain 1s in between for every single row. And I will go ahead and show you how we will do that here. So to start the moss stitch, you have the stitch at the very front here that is attached to our chain 2. We're going to skip that stitch and we're going to single crochet into the next stitch. For our chain 2, it's counting as a single crochet and a chain 1. So just keep that in mind. So now you've placed your single crochet. Now you will chain 1. We will skip the next stitch and then place a single crochet into the stitch right after. And then we will chain 1. We will skip the next stitch, and then this is where our chain 2 is from the very beginning. We're going to place a single crochet into the space of that chain 2. So you can see that there's the stitch here, and then there's the space. We're going to place our final single crochet into that space. So for our next row, we're going to chain 2 and then turn our work. So now we have single crochets and we have chain 1 spaces, and that's what we're going to be working into for the moss stitch. So to start, we're going to skip that first stitch and place a single crochet into the chain 1 space right after. Then we will chain 1, skip the next stitch, place a single crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, skip the next stitch, And then it might be a little bit hard to see, but you're going to go into the space in between at the very end where you have your chain 2 from the previous row and place a single crochet. So I'll show you a couple more rows just so we get into the groove of it. You will chain 2 and then turn your work, place your single crochet into the chain 1 space. So skip that first stitch and place a single crochet into the chain 1 space, then chain 1, skip the next stitch, place a single crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then place your single crochet into the space at the very end, place that single crochet, and then we'll do it one more time, and then we'll do it one more time, chain 2, which counts as your first single crochet, and as chain 1, turn your work, skip the first stitch, and place a single crochet into the chain 1 space, then chain 1, skip the next stitch, place a single crochet into the next chain 1 space, chain 1, skip the next stitch, and then place your final single crochet into the final space. And you're just going to repeat that for however many rows that you need to find a comfortable point for your strap. I will be doing a total of 50 rows. That's just where I like my straps to fall on my shoulders. I will be doing 50 rows, but you can go ahead and take like one of your favorite shirts or a favorite tank top, and you can just measure how long that strap is and get that measurement for the straps as well. But continue doing the moss stitch over and over until you reach that length, and I will meet you back to attach this to the other side. Once you have finished your strap, you will go ahead and chain 1. And now we need to attach our strap to our back granny square. So for this, I have the good side facing up. I'm going to place the good sides touching so that I can work my strap at the top on my other granny square. I'm going to flip this around just so that I can crochet it a little bit easier. So I've got my strap here and then my granny square right here. And we're going to be attaching this in the same way that we started our strap. We'll find that middle piece, that chain 1 space on the granny square, and then we'll go 2 stitches to the right, and then we will place our hook through that, and then we will also place our hook through the first stitch on our strap, and then we will just attach that with a slip stitch. Then we'll go into the next stitch, and then this will be a space on your strap, but go ahead and go through that and place a slip stitch. Now we have our chain 1 space on the granny square. Going to insert our hook into that and then go into the stitch that corresponds on our strap, slip stitch, and then we'll insert a hook into the next stitch on our granny square, go into the next space on our strap and slip stitch, and then one more time we're going to insert our hook into the next stitch on our granny square, and then we're going to go into the space at the very end of the strap and place a slip stitch. At this point you can go ahead and chain 1 and then fasten off, and then this is always a good time to check to make sure that you have attached your piece correctly. So I'm making sure that this is the inside of my granny square, making sure that my strap is not twisted. And if I fold this over to the way that I would be wearing it, I can see that I have attached it correctly, and there is a seam right here. So at this point you can go ahead and weave in your ends, and then we will work on the ruffle on the bottom. Now we are going to work on our ruffle edge. So go ahead and find your left granny square on the front, and then find that chain 1 corner space on the side here and attach your yarn right into that space. So now you're going to go ahead and chain as many chains as you would like for your tie. I would suggest between 30 to 50 chains. So go ahead and make those chains, and then I'll meet you back afterwards. Once you have made your chains, go ahead and turn it so that we are looking at the bumps on the back of our chains, and that's what we're going to be working into. So you are going to be placing single crochets along this whole chain that you've just made. So we're going to single crochet into the second chain from the hook, and I'm going to go underneath the bump on the back and place a single crochet. And then you're just going to continue placing single crochets under the back bump of your chain all the way down until you reach your granny square again, and I will meet you back once you've done that. Once you've gone all the way back down, go ahead and make sure that you are looking at your piece where the bottom is to your left side. Now go ahead and place another single crochet into the chain one space on your granny square. That way it will secure your tie as well. Now you will go ahead and place single crochets along the bottom of your granny square and go ahead and keep doing that until you reach this corner space right here. Once you get to these connection points, you're just going to treat them as like one single crochet. So I'm just going to go in somewhere in between and place a single crochet. And then I will continue placing single crochets all along the bottom, all the way until I reach my other granny square chain one space. So go ahead and place single crochets all along the bottom until you reach the other side, and I will meet you back when you get there. Once you've done all of your single crochets along the bottom and you've reached your chain one space on your next granny square, go ahead and place your last single crochet into the chain one space, and then chain the same amount of chains that you did on the other side of your granny square. And just like you did on the other side, we're going to turn our chain over to work into the back loops, place a single crochet into the second chain from the hook under that back loop, and then continue placing single crochets all along your chains until you reach the granny square again. Once you've gone all the way down your chain, go ahead and place one more single crochet into the chain one space and then chain two. Now go ahead and turn your work, and now we're going to be working along the bottom of our piece again. Go ahead and place a single crochet into the very first stitch that is after your tie. So it's the one that's like right there. Go ahead and place a single crochet into that. Don't worry about going right over your tie here. Now we are finally going to do the actual ruffles. So to do this, we're going to place a double crochet increase into every single stitch. So what that means is we're going to place 2 double crochets into each stitch all along the bottom. So go ahead and do that into the next stitch. Place 2 double crochets into the same stitch. So we're going to continue placing 2 double crochets into each stitch along the bottom all the way to your other tie, but you're going to stop 1 stitch before you get to the tie. So go ahead and place 2 double crochets into each stitch all along the bottom until 1 stitch before your tie on the other side. And I will meet you back here. Once you've gone all along the bottom and you've gotten back to your other tie, go ahead and place a single crochet into the last stitch. Now go ahead and chain 4 and then turn your work. This chain 4 counts as a double crochet and a chain 2. And then go ahead and place a double crochet into the same stitch. Then you will chain 2 and then place a double crochet into the next stitch. And then again chain 2 and place a double crochet into the next stitch. And then you are just going to repeat that all along the bottom by chaining 2 and then placing a double crochet into the next stitch all across the bottom until you reach the other side, and I will meet you back once you've gotten to that point. Once you get back to the other side, you have 1 stitch left. Go ahead and place your final double crochet into there, and then go ahead and weave in your ends, and then you're done. And there you have it. Your Forest Fae top is all finished. At this point, I would probably give it a bit of a steam just so that the ruffles can lay a bit nicer. This pattern is perfect for the spring and summertime. You can make a bunch of these in just a couple of days, and they're just really fun and really cute. I hope that you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I really love making these tops. They're super cute and they are a bit of a labor of love, but I really do think that it's worth it. But if you guys have any questions or comments or concerns, go ahead and leave that down below. If you are not subscribed already, go ahead and do that. And if you would like to be notified of whenever I post a new tutorial, you can go ahead and hit that little bell icon right next to the subscribe button. If you liked this video, like it. If you dislike it, dislike it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone.